In an art world filled with big and influential artists like Van Gogh, Monet, and Degas, it can be a difficult struggle to get out of the shadow of the biggest painters, especially if you share a name with one of your nation's iconic masters. This was the hurdle in the way of one of Japan's most underrated and underappreciated artists, Miss Katsushika Oe. Katsushika Oe was the daughter of famous Japanese ukiyo artist Hokusai, most famously known for his woodblock print, The Great Wave of Kanagawa. Oe's name was derived from the Japanese equivalent of Hey You, which is believed to be what her father called her. Oe was the most skilled painter of all Hokusai's children. Oe's life is shrouded in mystery. The date of her birth and death is unknown to art historians. It is believed that she was born sometime around 1800. Oe assisted her father in his workshop at a young age until she married one of his students, a painter named Tsutsumi, in 1824. 3 years later, she returned to her father's workshop after their divorce. It is believed that Oe made a critical comment about Tsutsumi being a mediocre artist, which led to the end of their marriage. Oe assisted her father with an undisclosed number of works after he developed palsy in his later years. It is said that Oe was the only one present at her father's deathbed. After his passing, Oe became reclusive and vanished from public view. The date of her death has not been confirmed, although it is thought to be around 1866. It is rumored that Oe may have even been the one to create her father's most famous work, The Great Wave. It is difficult for art historians to make a detailed chronological outline of Oe's career as a painter. Only 10 known works of hers are in existence. However, this small body of work highlights her talent as a woodblock ukiyo-e artist. Ukiyo-e is a style of Japanese painting which was typically utilized to tell a narrative as its subject, often depicting a significant person or event. Much of Japan's history and legends is told through this medium of Japanese art. It is an instantly recognizable style and is an iconic aspect of Japanese culture. Part of what made this style of art so prevalent in Japanese society was the way in which it was produced. The woodblock printing technique allowed for relatively easy reproductions, which made the work of even great artists, like Katsushika Oe and her father, Katsushika Hokusai, available to the general public. This sketch, done by one of Hokusai's students, seems to suggest that Oe had a hand in completing works with her father. There are several artworks that are believed to have been done by Oe and her father working together, but there is only one known print to have solid traces of that collaboration. However, among the 10 that are known to be done by her alone, there is one that most effectively showcases her exquisite talent as a woodblock artist, that print being Night Scene in Yoshiwara. Night Scene in Yoshiwara was created in the 1840s and is 26 by 40 centimeters in size. The scene is essentially that of a brothel district in Japan at the time. Oe conveys the scene drawing to the viewers with high contrast, dark and light tones. Through the translucent lattice that covers the lightened room portrayed, curiosity is evoked. As the viewer, we want to see what is behind the lattice and join the bystanders in their venture for entertainment and muse. The watching bystanders peering in from the dark are lightly lit by lanterns they hold, giving us a glimpse of who these bystanders are. As we look closer, we can see the courtesans, all of whom have their faces obscured by the lattice, which was purposely done by Oe, as it was not the norm of the time to do so. By doing this, Oe went against the norms of the time, and her culture of compositional elements really brought a new style to the woodblock prints of the time. Another artwork that demonstrates Katsushika Oe's talent as a ukiyo-e woodblock printer is Kuan Yu having his arm blade, or Hui Tao operating on the arm of Kuan Yu. The print is a hanging scroll with ink, color, and gold leaf on silk. It measures 140 by 68 and was also created in the 1840s. The showcase of detail in this print is immeasurable and outstanding in intricate techniques. Oe uses her talent to create this scene of pain, capturing the emotions of the other characters in the scene as they help and onlook the painful sight of Kuan Yu having his arm cut open. This work is a beautiful example of Oe's talent and shows how she didn't let anything stop her from creating any kind of subject matter she wanted to. The subject matter being very masculine and Oe being a female shows she was determined to break down boundaries in the art world for women. The artwork is also a bit of an autobiographical one, in the sense that Oe was a caretaker to her father and was there for him to the very end of his life. Portrayed in the woodblock print, men are assisting in the help and care of Kuan Yu, like Oi was there for her father till his last day. Katsushika Oi was known to be one of the most influential Japanese artists in Europe. Japanese art heavily influenced Western art in the late 1800s, just about the time Impressionism officially emerged. French art collector and critic Philippe Berde came up with the term Japanism. At the time, it was used mainly to describe the role of woodblock prints had on Impressionism. Today, the term refers to all influences any Japanese art has on any style of art. The three ways Japanese art influenced Impressionist painters most were in the subject matter, perspective, and composition. The well-known distinctive subject matter of Impressionism, such as candid portraits and scenes of nature, are actually rooted in Japanese prints. Specifically, Monet and Degas found a lot of inspiration from Japanese art in their subject matter. Monet's collection of Japanese bridges and Degas' signature series of Women at L'Atelier are two well-known examples. In terms of perspective, Impressionist and Japanese art shares a unique approach, which is usually showing the viewer's vantage point from above and positioned slightly at an angle. Flat composition is another area where the influence of Japanese art can be seen. Woodblock print's composition is quite flat with blocks of color and bold lines. Although some Impressionist artists chose to deviate from that look, many chose the same aesthetic in their art. Vincent van Gogh is another artist that took a lot of inspiration, stylistically, from Japanese prints. Some of his paintings are seen as near copies. For example, Van Gogh's Japanesoise, Flowering Plum Tree from 1887, was directly inspired by Utagawa Hiroshige's Plum Garden at Komeito from 1857. Also, Van Gogh's Starry Night is said to have been influenced by The Great Wave, painted by Oi's father, Hokusai. Katsushika Oi's woodblock prints not only depicted historical scenes, but also contemporary events, such as her works Kuan Yu having his arm bled, and Night Scene in Yoshiwara. Despite being a relatively unknown artist, Oi's prints influenced European artists greatly. The significance of her prints can be seen in the works of post-impressionists, like Van Gogh, who would later adopt ukiyo-e's style, composition, and subject matter. Katsushika Oi's style of art provides a window into 19th century life in Japan and traditional Japanese art, but more importantly, her prints illustrate her abilities as an accomplished artist in an art form predominantly comprised of males.